How would you like to fly through books, magazines, newspapers, reports, even business and technical information this fast, 3 times faster than you can right now?
I'll go to the airport and I'll buy a book at the airport and have it done by the time the plane has landed at the other location.
Now I can, for the most part, sit down and read a book in one sitting. And I get it all right then, and I get the depth and the breadth of it right then.
These people are absorbing information faster and remembering more with a cutting-edge learning technology that lets them fly through reading material in the super fast way you see here. They say they're making better grades and more money. They're people from ordinary towns all over America, people who were once slow readers and are now super fast photo readers. Their remarkable secret is next on American Breakthroughs. Hello, I'm Matthew Gillen. Do you forget things you read last week, even things you read last night? How'd you like to fly through books 3 times faster than you can right now? Well, my guest says he can teach you how to go through information as fast as you can turn the pages and teach you how to increase your comprehension and remember information for years. He's going to reveal and demonstrate an amazing learning technology. It's not speed reading, it's not running your finger down the page, it's different, it's easier, and it's fun. Pete Bissonette is one of the world's leading experts in super fast photo reading. He doesn't have a stack of reading on his desk that he can't get to like you and I do, because he can photo read 25,000 words a minute. Pete is president of Learning Strategies, a respected publisher and private school in Minnesota that's taught the photo reading technology in some of America's most successful corporations. Pete, welcome to American Breakthroughs.
Pleasure to be here, Matthew.
Now, Pete, I am a slow reader. Okay, I'm one of these guys who opens a book, I read each word, I hear each word in my head, you know what I mean. And very shortly after I begin to read, I realized I am stuck in the mud. I am getting nowhere.
And that's because you're using the same reading skills we all learned back in elementary school, okay? You're going word by word, line by line, and every word you see, you hear it in your mind.
Right.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that because it works, but it's extremely slow. It's kind of like going down the freeway in the horse and buggy, okay?
Okay.
But you're not alone, because most people are trying to cope in today's information age with those same elementary school reading skills. Now, with photo reading, we teach you how to go through information 3 times faster than you can now.
Sounds good, okay. Now, Pete, how fast, or, well, actually what I should be saying is how slow does the average person read?
The average American reads 200 to 250 words a minute.
But you photo read at rates way, way beyond that.
Oh, yes. I could take the average book off a shelf in a bookstore and absorb the information at 25,000 words a minute.
That just seems incredible to me.
So, Matthew, if I can do that, I can certainly teach you to go through information 3 times faster than you can right now. And you need to, because you can no longer afford to go through information using that old horse and buggy method.
True.
The world has changed in the last 10 years, Matthew. I mean, at home now you have books, you have magazines, you got newspapers that show up every day, and at work you have more books to read. You got the trade journals, the memos, the reports, just to stay current. And if you're a student, Matthew, you got too much to read, not enough time. And then you got the internet with the emails and the web pages, and those electronic files. And get this, Matthew, that when people read from computer screens, they read slower than from printed material.
Well, no kidding. I didn't know that.
And the problem is you're being bombarded with information from your mailbox to your email box, and you're getting slower. Why? Because you're trying to get down that information superhighway in an old clunker with a bad engine, okay? Now, with the photo reading system, we teach you a newer, a faster, a more efficient way to absorb information. Not line by line, but page by page. We can teach you how to go through information 3 times faster than you can now. And suddenly you feel like you're going down that information superhighway in a Ferrari instead. And Matthew, the amazing part is how easy it is. When we show people how easy it is to mentally photograph the printed page this fast, they always say, man, I wish I would have known this years ago.
Okay, Pete. Now,
yes.
Were you a child prodigy?
Yeah.
No, honestly. In school, did you have some sort of special ability?
No, and I did not know how to do this in school, but I was born with the ability to absorb information because everybody is. And Matthew, believe it or not, so were you.
Yeah, perhaps.
Yeah, no, your brain has the capacity to photo read at phenomenal speeds. All you need is somebody to show you how to release that natural ability. My associate, Paul Sheely, he uncovered the process of people can virtually absorb information right off the page. Then he developed a program to teach everybody how to do it. And years ago, he called me up and said, Pete, what if you could go through books as fast as you could turn the pages?
Oh,
And
yeah.
I got so excited because I knew it was possible. I just did not know how to do it. It was so easy, Matthew. And I immediately began photo reading 5 to 10 books every
5 to
single
10
10
books a
5 to
day.
10 books a day. It was amazing. That was 15 years ago, but now we have people photo reading all over the world in many different languages. Photo reading really is the only way to stay up in today's information age.
Now, we're talking about a number of different ways to absorb information at this point. We've talked about regular reading, we've talked about speed reading, and we're talking about photo reading. What are the differences between the three?
Regular reading is going through information one word at a time, saying it one word
Like
at a
I
time
do,
in your
right,
head,
okay.
you know, hoping that it sticks. And it's that slow process that you say makes it feel like you're stuck in the mud, okay?
All right.
Now, speed reading is about moving your eyeballs faster. You're going faster and faster and faster, maybe taking in multiple words at a time.
In the finger thing.
Exactly. I like to call it regular reading with stress, okay?
Okay.
With photo reading, we teach you a more efficient way to use your brain where you mentally photograph the printed page as fast as you can turn it. Now, another way to look at it, Matthew, is that regular reading and speed reading, it's like looking at a photograph of a building and being forced to look at every single brick after brick after brick, and eventually figuring out that it's a building, okay? Now, whereas with photo reading, you look at that same picture and you immediately know that it's a building.
Right.
And then when you need it, you go in for the details, you go in for the bricks.
Okay.
Okay? We teach you to use your whole mind to absorb information. Not just your left brain, not just your right brain, but your whole mind. And when you do that, you unleash an awesome ability to absorb, to understand, and retain information that's light years ahead of where you are now.
And a much more natural way to do things.
Absolutely.
To read for the essence, to read for the ideas, to read for the person's thoughts, not their words. Photo reading will teach you to do that at a rate that I never thought possible.
200 words a minute is too slow. And it really made sense to start teaching people a way to read that actually was going to work at the speed that the mind actually works.
Photo reading is easy to do. In fact, I've got a larger library now in the last 4 years than I have had in my entire life. I've read more books in the last 4 years in my whole life, and I'm 47 today.
Mr. Bissonette, we are going to show our viewers what it means to be able to absorb information as fast as you can turn the page. Now, we're going to put you to the test.
Sounds
here
good to
today,
me.
Okay. As you can see, I have a stack of books here.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, we have John Adams by David McCullough. Have you read this book?
Yes, I have. Photo read it in a bookstore.
In the bookstore.
In the bookstore.
You do that a lot, don't you?
I do it all the time.
You don't buy books, do you?
I buy a lot of books. I didn't buy that one. I had plenty of time there.
Fair enough. Band of Brothers.
On a flight to Chicago. You can't test me on it.
Okay. We are quickly running out of a stack of books here,
Okay.
Pete. All right. Jack. by
I have
Jack
not read the
Welch.
book.
You have not read
No,
the book.
I've been looking forward to it.
Would you be willing to sign an affidavit to that effect?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, fair enough. We flagged a couple chapters. I'm going to pick one, and now we have questions prepared.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to have you photo read this now, and then be ready for the test.
Sounds good. Finished.
Finished.
Yes,
Absorb the information.
you got it.
Okay, well, we're going to see if you got it.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
I have some questions for you
Okay.
here, Pete, all right? Ready?
Ready.
Okay, Peter, this was Chapter 7 of Straight from the Gut by Jack Welch.
Mm-hmm.
First question. When Jack Welch took over the company, he described GE headquarters staff as having A, passive attitudes, B, superficial congeniality, C, a positive change mentality.
B, superficial congeniality.
That's right on the money. That's right on the money. That's terrific. You ready?
Yes.
Jack Welch is a big believer in reality checks. What does he use to illustrate this in his book? A, GE's turbine division, B, GE's nuclear energy division, or C, GE's lighting division?
B, the nuclear energy division. Yes. You see, what their plans were to try to sell more nuclear power plants. In the U.S., you can't sell more nuclear power plants because nobody's building them. They wanted to turn the business into
I didn't
more of
photo
a
read the book.
servicing the existing
Pete,
ones.
all I know is B. That's absolutely phenomenal. You know, you make that look so easy.
Matthew, it's because it is easy. It's plodding along at 200 words a minute, saying the words in your head, one by one, underlining and highlighting. That's what I call hard. Photo reading is so fast, it's so easy. You know, we teach you how to go through materials 3 times faster than you can right now. And from there, the sky's the limit.
I was going off into a new business venture, and I wanted to get as much information about this new venture as I could. And in order to get it quickly, I had to figure out the best way of assimilating this information. And so the first thing, I bought a bunch of books on this new course of direction I was going into. And I was looking at the books, I'm thinking, my God, this is a lot to read. And so that's when I picked up photo reading. One of the things I noticed was instead of taking 5 days to read a book, I could read a book in about 1.5, 2 hours. And I started getting the information a lot faster. And the thing which I got from photo reading is to be able to just sit down and absorb this massive amount of information quickly and walk away with a better mastery and a better understanding.
How would you like to be able to absorb information 3 times faster than you do right now? Then call the toll-free number on your screen and get more information on the photo reading system. Photo reading is fast, it's easy, it's systematic, and as you've heard Pete say, it's not old-fashioned speed reading. There are no repetitive drills or boring exercises, no running your finger down the page. Photo reading is different and easier. Whether you're reading books, magazines, newspapers, even technical information, photo reading puts the information right at your mental fingertips. Now, if you call before the show ends, you'll receive the entire photo reading system at a substantial discount off the live national training. And here's the important part. Photo reading is completely guaranteed to work for you. Pete, I think the guarantee is the best part of the whole thing. In other words, if it doesn't work for me, I get my money back.
Absolutely. You have a full 30 days to evaluate the photo reading system in your home. If you're not happy for any reason, simply return the program for a full refund of the product price.
Boy, that's terrific. That's bold. Folks, with a guarantee like that, what have you got to lose? See for yourself how photo reading works. Why don't you make the call right now?
When you're trying to read, normally it creates tension because you don't have you're not relaxed. You're trying to go too fast and you can't. And I guess photo reading kind of opens up the door to go really, really fast as you want.
The big improvement that I noticed was that when I would do the photo reading, and I teach a lot of classes, and I would have maybe 3 or 4 books that I wanted to reference in the class, and I could photo read them in like 3-4 minutes just before the class. And what it did was that I would have the information at the tip of the tongue, just right here.
You know, Pete, everyone would like to be able to absorb information as fast as they can turn the page, but you know, just as important is remembering it.
Yes.
You know, that's one of the things that bothered me about regular reading, speed reading when I tried it a number of years ago. I would read, but the information would go right out of my head.
Memory, that's what we hear most often from students once they start photo reading. They say, hey, I'm able to handle information so much better at work or at school, but you didn't tell me about this memory part. This is great. You see, with the course, we give you the memory supercharger. You're going to love this because as it says right on the memory supercharger itself, we developed it to stimulate your memory and to improve your ability to remember facts and details. And also to improve your concentration on reading so that you can remember more of what you've read, heard, and seen.
That's exactly what I'm looking for.
Exactly. My experience has been that once you start to absorb information using your whole mind, it gets absorbed faster and more of it gets absorbed into the long-term memory areas of the brain. It's kind of like you're developing this great big mental file cabinet where you can reach in and grab the file you need right when you need it.
As we were traveling around the country interviewing photo readers, we asked them about their ability to recall and use information that they photo read. Let's watch this.
It would take me 3 or 4 days to read a book, or 5 days, or even longer. I never really assimilated the information as well. It would be like, you know, if I were to sit down and explain something to you and spent 5 days doing it, you would probably not have a really good memory of everything. But when you can sit down in an hour and a half and just get the whole book and understand it and get what's important in it, I started remembering it a lot better. And it's great because people in my office will say, you know, I'm reading this book, and I say, hey, can I borrow it for the night and give it back to them the next morning and have read the book.
And they're thinking, yeah, right, no way you really
Yeah, sure, right. But I did, yeah. Because later they'll be talking about it, and I was able to say, well, no, didn't he say this about it? They say, oh yeah, I guess you're right. So you do get a much better comprehension just by reading it quickly.
Morgan, how long does it take you to photo read the average computer manual, would you think?
The computer manuals vary so much, so say on a 300-page manual that you can figure that that's going to be about 15 minutes or so. So
For a 300-page manual?
300-page manual, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it really is, and it's fun because I've actually even had people watch me do it and then ask me questions on areas where, you know, it was brand new to me. That I still find to be really fun because with computers changing so quickly today, of course my colleagues have to, you know, they're wading through this stuff, and really it's wading through, and I'm able to photo read it. So, you know, it's kind of one of those little secrets I keep as well from some of my colleagues, because they can't figure out how I'm getting through this stuff so quickly and have such beyond just an aspect of knowing what's written there, actually getting an understanding.
You know, Pete, when I see these interviews, it makes me think, I don't know how anybody in business could survive these days without the photo reading skill.
Ah, that's right. It's a competitive world out there, Matthew.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you fall behind on your job just a little bit, there's always going to be somebody, probably somebody younger, who is keeping up. And they're going to eat you alive if you let them. Here's something else that most people don't consider. Strong readers earn more money than poor readers.
Well, you know what? That makes perfect sense.
Well, of course, if you can get through memos, reports, and emails 3 times faster, if you can fully understand business materials, business reports in minutes instead of hours, you're not only going to look better in meetings, but chances are you're going to look better to your boss when it comes time to hand out promotions and raises.
Okay. Well, Edgar Gravelin found that out in a big way this year. Edgar's a radio technician for one of the country's largest police departments, and his job is dealing with complex technical information day in and day out. He and another coworker were up for a promotion this year, and the only way to get that promotion was to go through a battery of tests. Edgar used photo reading to study for the test, and his coworker used regular reading. Here's what happened.
He had actually studied the equivalent of 3 months, whereas I studied 1 month. He also audio taped all of the books and listened to them day and night, even while he slept. And he had read the books approximately 3 or 4 times, he had told me. Complete, word for word. I, on the other hand, using the photo reading, actually was able to do 1 month what he did in 3 months. It's a way to make thousands of dollars more a year. And what was even more important was looking at the future for my wife, for her to have a pension, and it actually increased the pension. The position that I'm going to be getting is actually the position that I had wanted when I started 20 years ago, but didn't know that I really would attain that. And thanks to the photo reading system, I was able to.
Okay, Pete, photo reading works for books, works for magazines, works for technical data, any type of information, am I right?
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Well, Pete, a lot of the information that's coming at us nowadays is coming at us through the internet.
That's right.
Pete, how would you like to demonstrate to the viewers how to photo read at computer speeds?
Well, I think I'm going to be doing that.
Yes, you are. In fact, what we've done, as you can see, we have a laptop in front of you, have a monitor behind you. Now, what we've done is we've downloaded a book from the internet. It'll be in front of you on the laptop. What we're going to do is we're going to allow you to photo read it. The viewers at home will be able to see exactly what you're seeing on the laptop right here on the monitor. And then just like in the test earlier, I have some questions ready.
Sounds good.
See if you're going to be able to absorb the information.
Ready?
Sound good?
Yep.
Let's go.
Finished.
Pete, fast as you can turn the page, as fast as you can click the page too, is that the way this works?
That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, ready. This is The Reporter Who Made Himself King. The author is Richard Harding Davis. First question. Where did Albert Gordon, the young reporter, get assigned as secretary to the American consul? Was it A, Gibraltar, B, the island of Opeki in North Pacific, or C, in Fiji?
B.
The island of Opeki in the North Pacific.
Yep. Right?
You sure?
You betcha.
You're absolutely right. Okay, what country sent a man of war ship to try to annex the island? A, Germany, B, Spain, or C, France?
It was Germany.
Yes! Doggone it,
But
that's
wait,
absolutely
okay.
unbelievable. Now, why, okay, you ready?
Another one? Yep.
Why did the cable operator stateside inflate the story of the war on the island of Opeki? Was it A, to make the cable company's stock rise, B, to please his superiors?
A, to make the stock rise.
Yeah, you didn't even need the other two. That is 100% correct. Pete, that is unbelievable.
Thank you. Hey, Matthew, the only reason that you can't take this laptop and do the same thing is because you have not yet mastered photo reading. We can teach you how to go through any material 3 times faster than you can now. And that's any material, from newspapers, magazines, trade journals, emails, web pages, novels, you name it.
Photo reading helps me on a day-to-day basis, even outside of books. Reading trade publications, reading websites, reading any sort of information, newspapers that pertain to my business. I mean, it's coming in a lot faster now. There's more information to assimilate. And being able to read it and using photo reading gets that information into me faster.
Busy people need photo reading, and I recommend them that they're the people I most recommend take it. They can go back and use the system and lower their work level completely and get that golf game in on Sunday. By taking photo reading, they can read the report that they're due to discuss on Monday in 20 minutes as opposed to 2 or 3 hours.
If you've always wanted to read faster and you've got a pile of work on your desk you just can't get to, I want to urge you, pick up the phone, call the toll-free number on your screen, and get information on the photo reading system. Now, photo reading means finally keeping up with your reading and your work. It means having more time to spend with your family, more time to have fun, and it's completely guaranteed. As you heard Pete say, you can try it at home risk-free for 30 days. Folks, we only have a few minutes left. Call now and get the complete photo reading system at a substantial discount off the live national training. Now, if the lines are busy, keep trying. It's a free call, so make it right now.
I can go into a bookstore and it's like a child in a candy store. In the past, I'd go looking at myself as if you was looking at yourself in the mirror and you'd say, no, I'm not good enough for that. Now I look at it and I go, I've got 15 minutes. I'll photo read it real quick. I don't even have to buy the book.
You know, Pete, we've seen how photo reading works for all different types of people on the job, even with heavy technical information. But it occurs to me, if I'm out there and I'm a parent with a child going to school, I'm going to want to get them involved in photo reading now.
Absolutely. See, photo reading works great for kids from middle school, junior high on up. That's the time, Matthew, that they're really starting to get bombarded with information. Sure. And reading the old-fashioned way just makes it so much harder. We designed photo reading to make reading easy for everyone, including students.
I don't know how people go through school without photo reading, especially in college, because they expect you to know everything almost word for word. And I think photo reading actually unlocks that ability that everyone has. I started noticing that photo reading was working for the test when I started really knowing what I was doing on the test, and the information would just come to me. That's how I would know. It would just pop into my head when I didn't know it before. And I started making B's and A's on my tests. In plane trig, I would photo read the book, the chapters I needed for the test, and if I didn't know a question on the test, I would come back to it and it would just, like that. And I made an A in the class using it. In a field like computer science, the information changes so much, like from month to month even. And I've heard from people that you have to read at least a book a month to keep up in your field. And I think photo reading will really help me with a field like computer science and be able to absorb the information faster than anyone else.
I was teaching 2 children in Center City, Durham, a little 11 and 12-year-old. And they read, one of the books I teach is Love is Letting Go of Fear. It's 133 pages, large print, lots of pictures. But the little boy timed them. I knew it was around a half an hour, and he said, no, it was 27 minutes. And he looked at me and he said, and I really know what this book says. And he said, and the little girl next to him said, cool. You know? And that's what you can do. Those are the possibilities. You not only can read it in a short time, you really know what it says. You really know, and you maintain that.
Pete, I see this and I say, I want that kind of success for my kids. You know what? I want it for me.
Ah, yes, you're right, Matthew. And what I say to your viewers is this. Look at the way you read now. If you're a slow reader and if you got work piled up all around you, or if your kids, if they can't keep up in school, what does it tell you? Maybe the old-fashioned way of reading isn't working for you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, the world has changed a lot since we learned to read back in elementary school. And you know, Matthew, but the way that we process information has not changed until photo reading. There are whole worlds of knowledge that are hidden away in books. And I believe that photo reading is the key to unlock all of that knowledge, to understand, and to take on whole new fields of learning. The world is moving so fast that you and your kids need to be able to move fast to keep up. And I can teach you how to go through information 3 times faster than you can right now so that you can get ahead and stay ahead.
And you know, staying ahead. If you don't, there's someone behind you, maybe a little younger, who is going to be keeping up, and they will eat you up.
That's it. Photo reading gives you the edge in a world where it's all about keeping up with information. And it's easy. As a matter of fact, Matthew, within the first hour, we'll have you photo reading your first book.
Oh, that's
You'll
terrific.
see it working for you right away. And the best part is, it is guaranteed. You'll be able to use the photo reading system in your home for a full 30 days. And if you're not happy for any reason, simply return the program for a full refund of the product price.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have seen some amazing stories here today from people who are now super fast photo readers. People who said, I'm tired of being behind all the time. I want to get ahead, and I'm going to do something about it. Now, if you want to learn how to absorb information 3 times faster than you can right now, call the number on your screen while there's still time to get information on the photo reading system. If you're in business, you need to do this. If you have a student in your life, you simply have to do it for them. Less than a minute left. So call the number on your screen now and get more information. And remember, if you call now, you'll get a substantial discount off the live national training. Don't miss this, folks. It's really too important for you, for your kids, for your career. Photo reading. It is completely guaranteed. You get a risk-free 30-day trial in your home. Now, there's only a few seconds left. Make the call right now while you still can.
Give it a try and see for yourself. Because I could tell you all day that it works, but once you use it for yourself, you'll see that it really does work. And once you do learn it, just trust that it works. And once you trust yourself that it works, your speed will shoot through the roof.
And this is important because in order to keep up with the changes in technology, in order to be competitive, in order to really be at the peak of your field and support my clients or whatever I'm doing, to have that information at my fingertips, to be able to know this information is so crucial, especially now. I can remember, again, 20 years ago when I first started going into business, there wasn't a need to know as much. At least it didn't seem that way. Now I need to know a lot of different things, and photo reading has helped me do that.
If you miss out on photo reading, you miss out on a whole new world of opportunities. And in some cases, maybe a better life, much better life.